Right now, you are standing on the edge of a cliff. Below lies a chaotic world that doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your struggles. Each day, you wake up fighting battles against distractions, negativity, and doubt. That pressure? It's real, and it's crushing so many before your very eyes. The truth is, most people are running blind into a life that eats them alive. They chase after fleeting things, thinking they will find happiness or fulfillment. But all they find is emptiness. That ends today. This moment is a reality check. It's time to take responsibility for your life and your choices. You can no longer afford to be a casualty of this indifferent world. You must learn the 10 Stoic rules that can help you not just survive, but thrive. I want you to pause right now and comment, "I will rise above," below. Write it. Own it. Let every like on your comment remind you of this promise. This journey begins with facing the truth. It's harsh, but necessary. The world will not hand you what you want. You must fight for it. And it starts by understanding how to navigate through adversity with strength and wisdom. This path won't be easy, but nothing worthwhile ever is. Are you ready to take control? Let's begin. Rule 1. The Armor of Indifference. Now here is where most people completely fall apart. They underestimate the power of indifference. They let the chaos of the world seep into their minds and hearts. They think they need to care about everything. But that is a treacherous trap. The first rule of Stoicism is simple yet profound. The Armor of Indifference. Picture this. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, facing the weight of an empire on his shoulders. War was raging. Disease was rampant. Yet, he found strength in indifference to the things he could not control. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does that mean? It means that your peace is yours to protect. Distractions, criticisms, and the negative opinions of others are like arrows shot at your armor. If you let them penetrate, you'll bleed. But if you wear the armor of indifference, you deflect and keep moving forward. Think about it. When you wake up each day, you face a barrage of influences. Social media tells you to compare. The news tells you what to fear. Friends might push you toward their expectations. If you react to every criticism or distraction, you become a puppet, controlled by strings outside your control. But there is a choice. You can decide what matters. You can choose to care deeply about your values, your goals, and your growth. That is the essence of indifference. It's not about being apathetic. It's about being selective. Take a moment to think about your day. What are you letting in? What battles are you fighting that drain your energy? Now, here's your action. Write down 3 things that often distract or upset you. Name them. Then, beside each, note how much control you really have over them. You might realize that most of your worry is wasted energy. You want to build this armor. You need to recognize that the world will throw challenges at you, but it's your choice whether to let them in. But here is the part nobody talks about. This isn't about dismissing your feelings. It's about understanding them. You acknowledge the chaos, but you refuse to let it take root in your mind. The world doesn't care about your battles, but you can start caring less about its noise. You can rise above it. Comment below, "I will rise above." Let this be your reminder that you are taking control. You are choosing your focus. Now that you understand this, let me show you the weapon that makes it stick. Rule 2. The Control Protocol. Now, here's where most people completely fall apart. They believe they are victims of their circumstances. Every distraction feels like a weight dragging them down. They fail to grasp the power of control. Control is your greatest weapon against the chaos. It's not about forcing everything to go your way. It's about knowing what's worth your focus and energy. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the crux of the control protocol. Your mind is yours alone. What the world throws at you, that's outside your power. Think about a time when you felt overwhelmed. Maybe it was a tough day at work, or perhaps it was the pressure from social media. You felt like you had no control. But that feeling? It's an illusion. Here's a story that illustrates this. There was a soldier named Epictetus who was once a slave. He faced harsh treatment and a lack of freedom. Yet, he understood that while he couldn't control his situation, he could control his response. He chose not to be devastated by his circumstances. Instead, he built his strength and character. What did he teach us? That we must focus on what we can control. Your thoughts, your reactions, and your choices. Everything else, let it go. Now, let's take action. Tonight, I want you to sit down in silence. Take a piece of paper. Write down one situation that's been bothering you this week. Ask yourself, what can I actually control here? Maybe it's a difficult conversation you need to have. Maybe it's a project at work that feels overwhelming. Break it down. Write down what you can control about that situation. You might find that you can change your approach, or you can change your attitude. And that makes all the difference. But here is where it gets dangerous. Many will choose to ignore this. They will drift through life, letting external forces dictate their feelings. Do not be like them. When you take control of your mind, you control your destiny. The noise outside will always be there, but your response can be different. And now, I challenge you. If this is hitting different right now, do one thing for me. Hit that subscribe button. Not for me, for the version of you that needs this reminder next week. Look at your list. What power do you want to reclaim? Because the world doesn't get to decide your worth or your path. You do. But knowing this alone is not enough. Because there is something even more dangerous. The moment you feel complacent, that's when chaos creeps back in. Stay aware. Stay vigilant. Rule 3. The gratitude shield. Now here is where most people completely fall apart. They walk through life with a bitter heart, allowing negativity to cloud their vision. They think the world owes them something, but it does not. This is where Rule 3 comes in, the gratitude shield. This is your armor against the chaos outside. It's a strategic weapon, and it will change the way you experience every moment. Let's look at a story. Picture Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, in the midst of a crowded Roman forum. People are shouting. The political climate is tense. Chaos is everywhere. Yet, Seneca stands firm. His secret? He practices gratitude daily. He reflects on what is good in his life, despite the turmoil surrounding him. He said, "A good character, when established, is a fortress." What does that mean? When you build a strong sense of gratitude, you create a shield. It protects you from the negativity and chaos that life throws at you. With gratitude as your foundation, you can withstand the storms around you. Think about it. When you feel grateful, you focus on what you have, not what you lack. You shift your perspective. Instead of seeing hurdles, you see opportunities. Instead of despair, you find strength. Now pay attention. This is the real lesson. Gratitude does not depend on external circumstances. It's an inner choice. You decide to appreciate your life. You decide to recognize the small victories, the warmth of the sun, the laughter of a friend, the chance to learn something new. So, how do you put this into practice? Simple. Tonight, before you sleep, take a piece of paper. Write down 3 things you are grateful for from today. They don't need to be big. A cup of coffee, a kind word from a stranger. Each evening, make this a habit. Let gratitude become your default. Let it wash over you like a shield, hardening you against life's challenges. But here is the part nobody talks about. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring the tough stuff. It means facing those challenges with a heart full of strength. It's about accepting the reality while focusing on the good. Now, let's take action. Start your gratitude practice today. Write it down. Own it. Make it a ritual that you can return to in hard times. The world will throw chaos your way. That's guaranteed. But you can choose how you respond. You can choose gratitude. And that will change everything. Now that you understand this, let me show you the weapon that makes it stick. Rule 4. The Tranquility Trap. Now, let's talk about something that sneaks up on even the strongest among us. It's called the Tranquility Trap. This is where you think you found peace. You feel calm. You've practiced gratitude, built your mental strength, and now you believe you've nailed it. You're thinking, I'm on the right path. I've got this. But that's where the danger lies. Think of Marcus Aurelius. He faced wars, betrayals, and the weight of an empire. He could have cloaked himself in a false sense of tranquility. Instead, he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What he meant is simple. True strength is not about avoiding challenges. It's about facing them head on. It's about knowing that tranquility isn't the absence of chaos. It's how you respond to it. Imagine a soldier in combat. He can't find peace in the absence of danger. Instead, he finds tranquility in the knowledge that he is prepared. He knows he can face anything thrown at him. This is a powerful lesson. So, how do you escape the tranquility trap? First, acknowledge that discomfort is part of life. When you feel overwhelmed, don't shy away. Embrace it. Sit with the discomfort. Feel it. Reflect on it. Write down your thoughts. Then, remind yourself of your strength. You've faced challenges before, and you've come out stronger. Now, here is the step where most people falter. They mistake tranquility for complacency, and that is where they fail. True tranquility comes from action. It's the calm that arises when you actively confront your fears and obstacles. When you choose to grow despite the struggle, you are truly alive. Pause here for a moment. If this is hitting different right now, do one thing for me. Hit that subscribe button. Not for me, but for the version of you that needs this reminder next week. Now, let's get practical. Each day, confront one fear or discomfort head-on. It doesn't have to be monumental. It could be starting that tough conversation you've been avoiding or tackling a project you've put off. Write down your fear. Then write down one action you can take to face it. And do it. Remember, the goal is not to feel tranquil all the time. It's to build strength, to have the tools to navigate through chaos. Being calm in the storm means recognizing that tranquility isn't a destination. It's a practice. You are training yourself to embrace what life throws at you. You are building your resilience. So, as you move forward, keep this in mind. Don't get trapped in a false sense of peace. Instead, thrive in the chaos, because that is where true strength lies. But knowing this alone is not enough, because there is something even more dangerous that you need to confront. Rule 5, the resilience weapon. Now here is where most people completely fall apart. They talk about resilience, but never truly test it. Resilience is not just a word you throw around. It's a muscle, and like any muscle, it needs to be worked. The resilience weapon is about building that muscle through consistent action. Picture Marcus Aurelius sitting in his tent, preparing for battle. He faced adversity every single day, but instead of retreating into comfort, he faced the storm head-on. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that every challenge, every setback, is not the enemy. It's the path to your strength. When you hit a wall, don't just complain or back away. Use that wall. Climb over it. Break through it. Let me share a story that illustrates this perfectly. Think about the life of Thomas Edison. He didn't invent the light bulb in one day. He faced failure after failure. Over 1,000 unsuccessful attempts. Each time, he didn't see failure as the end. He saw it as feedback, a step closer to success. Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He built resilience through persistence. He turned setbacks into stepping stones. So what does this mean for you? Start by identifying one challenge you've been avoiding. Write it down. Then, create a small plan of attack. Maybe it's a conversation you dread. Perhaps it's a project that seems too big. Whatever it is, approach it as if it's a muscle you are training. Put one foot in front of the other. Take one action today, no matter how small. This is how you build resilience. But here is the part nobody talks about. It's not just about facing fears. It's also about reflecting on those fears. Understand why they scare you. Resilience isn't just about doing. It's about being aware of your mindset. Take a moment tonight. Reflect on your challenge. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this? How did I grow? Write down your thoughts. This reflection amplifies your resilience. It turns pain into power. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I fail again? Here's the truth, you will. Failure is not the enemy. Complacency is. If you want to rise, you have to accept that the road is full of bumps. So embrace the struggle. Each challenge is a chance to strengthen your resilience. And remember, it's not about never falling. It's about rising every time you do. Now that you understand this, let me show you the weapon that makes it stick. Rule 6, the perception filter. Now here is where most people completely fall apart. They think they can face their fears and build resilience without understanding their perceptions. But here's the reality. Your mindset shapes everything. If you don't filter your perceptions, you become a victim of the world around you. You let external events control your feelings and actions. This is where the perception filter comes into play. Let's look at the story of Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher. He was born a slave, yet he became one of the most influential teachers of his time. How did he do it? He mastered the art of perception. Epictetus understood that while he could not control his circumstances, he could control how he perceived them. He famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means you have the power to choose your response to any situation. For instance, imagine you lose your job. The immediate reaction might be panic and despair. But what if you shifted your perception? Instead of seeing it as a disaster, view it as an opportunity. It's a moment to reassess, to build new skills, or perhaps even to pursue a passion you've put on the back burner. The lesson here is clear. Your perception can be your prison or your liberation. So, here's what you can do. Take a challenge you're currently facing. Write it down, and then, next to it, write how you perceive this challenge. Is it an obstacle, or is it a chance for growth? This reframing technique is powerful. It forces you to confront your mind's narratives. Tonight, as you reflect, ask yourself, what possible perceptions can I shift? Challenge yourself to view your struggles through the lens of opportunity. And this is where it gets dangerous. Most people never change their mindset. They stay stuck in their negative perceptions. They don't realize they are the ones holding themselves back. If this is hitting different right now, do one thing for me. Hit that subscribe button. Not for me, for the version of you that needs this reminder next week. Remember, the perception filter is your tool for strength. Your mindset can either sharpen your focus or create blind spots. So use it wisely. Now, let's move forward with this understanding. You have the power to reshape your reality through perception. But knowing this alone is not enough, because there is something even more dangerous. Rule 7, the challenge protocol. Now here is where most people completely fall apart. They think the challenge will crush them. They don't realize that a challenge is just a test of your will, your strength, and your determination. Enter the challenge protocol. Imagine this. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, faced immense pressure every single day. He led an empire at war. He dealt with betrayal and loss. Yet, he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This quote is a clarion call for action. It tells us that every obstacle can be transformed into a vehicle for progress. When Marcus encountered difficulties, he didn't run from them. He faced them head-on. He used them to build resilience and wisdom. He understood that challenges are not just the bricks in the wall that confine us. They are the stepping stones toward greatness. Now, let's bring this to your life. Think about a challenge you are facing right now. Maybe it's a tough job, a difficult relationship, or a personal goal you are struggling to achieve. Pause for a moment. What is your typical response? Do you panic? Do you complain? Or do you see it as an opportunity to grow? The challenge protocol asks you to flip that narrative. Write down your challenge. Then, ask yourself, how can I respond differently? How can this challenge strengthen me? This is not just positive thinking. It's the essence of Stoic philosophy. It's about taking control of your perceptions and actions. Here's what I want you to do. Tomorrow morning, write this down. I will embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Put it somewhere visible. Let it be your battle cry for the day. Each time you encounter a difficulty, remind yourself of this mantra. Now pay attention. This is the real lesson. You must actively engage with your challenges. Don't avoid them. Don't dwell in despair. Instead, confront them with courage. This is where growth happens. When you take on challenges with the mindset of a warrior, you transform them into fuel for your journey. And remember, you aren't alone in this. Every Stoic faced the same trials. They emerged stronger because they chose to accept their challenges, not shun them. But knowing this alone is not enough, because there is something even more dangerous. Rule 8, the acceptance armor. Now here is where most people completely fall apart. They face a setback, and instead of standing tall, they crumble. They let the weight of the world crush their spirit. They forget the most powerful tool they have, acceptance. This brings us to Rule 8, the acceptance armor. Acceptance is not weakness. It's a strength. It's a shield that protects you from the chaos outside. The world will throw you curveballs, and it won't care about your plans. But how you respond, that is where your power lies. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does that mean? It means you control your reactions. You cannot change the world around you, but you can change how you perceive it. Accept the reality of your situation. When you accept that reality, you stop wasting energy on what could have been. You free yourself to act. Imagine a soldier preparing for battle. Before the fight begins, he knows he might face injury, loss, or defeat. He accepts this truth. This acceptance endows him with a clarity and focus that transforms fear into determination. He understands that any outcome is possible, and he is ready for it. But here is the part nobody talks about. Acceptance isn't passive. It doesn't mean sitting on the sidelines while life happens to you. It means rolling up your sleeves and getting to work. It means taking the reins of your life and steering it where you want to go, even when the road is rough. You have to act, but before you do, accept the current state of affairs. Write down your struggles. Don't ignore them. Look at them head on. Accept that they exist. Then ask yourself the critical question: how can I turn this obstacle into an advantage? This is your action plan. You don't need to have all the answers immediately. What matters is that you start. Accept your emotions, but don't let them dictate your actions. Take a moment each day to remind yourself, this challenge is a part of my journey. I will not run from it. I will face it. Each time you feel overwhelmed, pause and reflect. Use that moment to strengthen your resolve. You can build your acceptance armor. It will serve you for the battles ahead. This armor will allow you to absorb the blows life throws at you and stand tall in the aftermath. Now that you understand this, let me show you the weapon that makes it stick. Rule 9. The moment mastery hourglass not done. Now here is where most people completely fall apart. They think mastery of the moment is a skill reserved for the elite. They believe it's something you're either born with or not. This belief is a trap. The truth is, the moment mastery is within your grasp. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This quote doesn't just sit on paper. It demands action. Mastering the moment means taking control right now, regardless of what chaos surrounds you. It requires you to sift through the noise of life and find clarity in your thoughts. Imagine a soldier preparing for battle. He stands at the edge of the battlefield, surrounded by chaos. Yet, he breathes deeply and focuses on the present moment. He knows the only thing he can control is his response to the situation. He cannot change the outcome of the battle before it's fought, but he can sharpen his skills, ready his weapons, and steel his mind for what lies ahead. The same goes for you in your daily life. When faced with stress, distractions, or uncertainty, you must pause. This is the lesson. Mastering the moment is about being fully present. It is about recognizing what you can influence and what you cannot. Your thoughts and actions are your weapons. Use them wisely. Now pay attention. This is the real lesson. Each morning, take 5 minutes. Sit in silence and breathe. Focus on what is happening right now. Ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish today? Define your mission. Write it down. This sets your intention, but it doesn't stop there. Throughout the day, remind yourself of your mission. When distractions arise, take a breath. Ground yourself. Reflect on your intentions. If you feel overwhelmed, don't panic. Instead, remind yourself of Marcus Aurelius' wisdom. You have power over your mind. This power allows you to shape your reality, even amid chaos. Each moment holds potential, but it demands your attention. You can't just float through life and expect mastery to come to you. You must actively engage. Here's your action. At the end of each day, reflect on your moments. Identify times you mastered your response versus times you let emotions dictate your actions. Write it down. What did you learn? This reflection will sharpen your awareness and prepare you for the next battle. But knowing this alone is not enough, because there is something even more dangerous lurking just beyond the surface. The true test of your mastery lies in the moments when you least expect it. Rule 10. The Legacy Code. The true test of your mastery lies in how you will be remembered. Right now, ask yourself, what legacy are you building? Your actions, your choices, and your words shape not only your life, but also the lives of others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." This is not just a poetic reflection. It is a challenge. We live in a world that often prioritizes the immediate over the lasting. But you are not here to blend in. You are here to leave a mark. Let me share a story that brings this point vividly to life. In ancient Rome, a philosopher named Seneca faced the end of his life. He was condemned to death by Nero. Instead of pleading for mercy, he chose to reflect on what truly mattered. Seneca spent his last moments with unwavering composure. He did not focus on the tragedy of his fate. Instead, he focused on the impact of his life. He reminded those around him that death is not the end, but a natural part of existence. He said, "A good character, when the time comes, will be a good death." Seneca knew his legacy would live on through his teachings and the people he inspired. The lesson is clear. Your legacy is not defined by wealth or status. It is defined by how you treat others, by your integrity in tough times, and by the kindness you show daily. This is what you must cherish. Now here's your action. Start a legacy journal. Each week, write down actions that align with the legacy you want to leave. Identify moments where your values were tested. Reflect on how you responded. Ask yourself, did I act with integrity? Did I uplift others? Did I add value to the world around me? This practice sharpens your focus. It reminds you that every choice matters. Remember, you are the architect of your legacy. But here is the part nobody talks about. Your legacy is built in the quiet moments, the unnoticed choices, and the selfless acts. It's in the way you handle failure. It's in how you support others, even when you are struggling. These moments are your true tests. So, as you move forward, keep this in mind. Your actions today will ripple into the future. Choose them wisely. And as you reflect on your legacy, let that drive you. Embrace the responsibility to be better every single day. Now let's keep this momentum going. Your journey to mastery is just beginning. The final word, your Stoic survival blueprint. Right now, you are standing on the edge of a choice. Will you embrace the struggle, or will you let it consume you? The world doesn't care. The challenges will come, and they will push you to your limits. But here's the truth. You have the power to decide how you respond. This is your Stoic survival blueprint. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. That's what Marcus Aurelius said. It's not about the world around you. It's about what you choose to think and how you react. The Stoics teach us to face life head-on. They remind us that adversity is an opportunity for strength. Think of Epictetus, who was a slave yet chose to focus on what he could control, his thoughts and actions. His mindset built a legacy that inspired millions. Now, here's your lesson. Understanding this is not enough. You need to act. Create your daily Stoic practice. Begin each morning with a brief reflection. Ask yourself, what challenges may I encounter today? How can I prepare to meet them? Write it down. This is your battle plan. But here is where it gets dangerous. Many will stop here. They will talk about the theory, but never put it into action. Do not be one of them. Take it further. When the day ends, reflect again. What went well? What did not? Identify the moments you wavered. Did you act with resilience? Did you hold your values? This is where you strengthen your character. You are in control. The world will throw chaos your way. But your mind? That's your fortress. Protect it fiercely. Choose to be relentless. Here's your actionable takeaway. Each week, find one area in your life that challenges you the most. Commit to responding differently. If you usually retreat, lean in. If you shy away, speak up. Transform those moments from weaknesses into strengths. Remember, you are the architect of your own life. Your choices today build the foundation for tomorrow. As you move forward, let this guide you. Take charge. Embrace the struggle. The world may not care, but you can choose to care. You can choose to thrive. Subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And I will see you in the next one.